Hello class, today we're going to be talking about the basic science behind NDT and PNF. We're going to start out by talking about the science behind both of these approaches. First of all, the nervous system, according to these approaches, is set up as a hierarchy with different levels of control. For example, the spinal cord is responsible for motor reflexes. The brainstem is responsible for regulating and integrating static and tonic reflexes, while the cerebral cortex is responsible for voluntary motor control as well as inhibiting the lower centers. So when there's a problem, such as with brain damage during a stroke, the cerebral cortex, being the higher center, loses its inhibition and the reflexes in the lower centers begin to come out. Another important concept behind these approaches is sensory input. Sensory input is important because it restores sensory motor and neural connections in the brain. And this is seen through the techniques of weight bearing or the use of tactile, auditory, or visual cues. Another important concept is the normalization of tone. For example, when a therapist is working with someone who has low tone, they would use facilitation, and when they're working with someone who has high tone, they would use inhibition. It's also important to complete the tasks that the patient is doing correctly, because that helps to lay down the correct pathways. Another important concept that we will discuss is motor control. This is where there's coordinating of sensory input and motor output. For example, say I was going to go grab a tube of toothpaste. I could watch my hand through vision to grab the toothpaste, and I could adjust any problems that I had to pick it up. Behind the idea of motor control is that reflexes underlie motor control. Reflexes are the result of certain stimulus, and when the reflex occurs, they're automatic, predictable, and stereotypical. And when brain damage occurs, like I previously said, the control is lost and the reflexes begin to reappear.